my Young and the Restless fans. Happy hump day. We're in the middle of the week. We got a new episode to talk about, so let's get to it. First, Faith decides to head back to college. We then also see Adam telling Sally that he loves her. And then Victoria and Nate plan Nick Overthrow. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for June 21st. And without any further ado, let's talk about this episode. So let's start out over the hospital, and I know Sally is grieving, and listen, this is only in soap opera recap mode, but she's working my last nerve. I mean, pretending to be asleep when Adam visits, but she makes sure that she makes time for Nick when Nick tells her that Adam did the right thing, which he did. The baby's lungs was not developed. The baby wouldn't have even survived, so they would have lost both of them. And Adam, if nothing else, is a fantastic father. I mean, he's grieving just as much as Sally is. Now, Adam tried to get her to stay in bed, but she just had to get out and said that, it made her sick for Adam to be in the room after letting her baby die. Girl, if you don't, cut it out. Now then Nick shows up, and I'm glad Nick had to tell her that Adam lost a baby too and how impossible the situation was. He also went on to tell her that even he was forced to choose between Sharon and Faith with this whole Cameron Kirsten situation. And he told her that he couldn't make a choice. However, luckily he didn't have to because Sharon had that knife. Nick tells her that he can't even fault Adam, and this girl is still saying Adam stopped their daughter from taking a first breath. Sally, do you know for sure if she would even have taken a breath? I mean, seriously, she is digging her heels deep when it comes to her anger for Adam. So now we're over at Newman, where we see Nikki came to see Victoria, and she hugged and told her that she's glad everybody was okay. Now, Victoria said Nick has earned a well-deserved break. She is just so obvious, trying to kick Nick out for Nate. Now, Nikki can't believe she is still talking like that, and Victoria said Nick needs a leave of absence. He needs some time. She said Nick needs to step back and recover. Recover from what? I mean, Sally lost Adam's baby, and Faith and Sharon are safe. Cameron has been unalived. I mean, she is really trying to lay this on thick. And then, of course, Nikki tells her that, look, you didn't even take a minute off after Ashland's situation. Thank you, Nikki. You brought a voice of reason. That's because she thought Adam would steal her job. Remember that, guys? But why was she so worried about that? I mean, according to her, Adam can't even run a roach motel. Nate walked in with some proposals to show Victoria. Nikki left, but before she did that, she told Victoria that she will not back her into forcing Nick out. So now Nate guesses, of course, that Nikki is not too happy and being thrilled with him replacing Nick. I mean, Nate, what was your first clue? Nikki almost flipping you the bird? Then we see Victoria decided to go ahead and call Nick to come to her office. So now we're over at Crimson Lights. We at first saw Adam pretty much just letting everybody have it because he's going through his share of grief alone. At the same time, we see Nick telling him to pretty much stay away from the hospital. And then we even see Faith now telling Nick and Sharon that she want to go back to campus. And you know what? I can't say I don't even blame her. Besides the drama with Cameron Kirsten, her family is enough drama by itself to send somebody packing out of town. And of course, Sharon is sad to see her daughter go, but she know, hey, her daughter's an adult now and she pretty much can do what she wants, and if it means leaving town, so be it. But Chance was definitely there to console her. Now, before Nick comes in, we see Nate is asking, Victoria, you sure about this? Your parents won't like it. But she said giving Nick the opportunity to step away is the right thing to do. I hope Adam and Nick team up and take down Newman Media. I mean, seriously. Then Nick showed up. Victoria asked him how he was, like she really cared in that moment. He told her that they're moving on from Cameron and Sally is going to need time to recover. She suggested to him now that he take a leave of absence, and he told her, I don't think that's necessary. Now, she told him, look, You can't see clearly now to make sound decisions. Victoria, dear, you're the one that can't see clearly, especially with what Nate is doing. She made the choice, though, that he needs to step away from his role as COO. So now we're back at the hospital. Adam came back to visit Sally, explaining that when he was asked to make that decision, his heart stopped. He couldn't imagine life without her. He told her that he chose her because he loves her and won't forgive himself for breaking her heart. He kissed her hand and he walked out. And then she opened her eyes and started to cry. I'm like, why are you treating this man this way? It's interesting that in the beginning of the pregnancy, she only wanted him around as necessary because they weren't in a relationship, and I see you when I see you. Now that something has happened, it's all his fault. Make that make sense, Sally. At first, is he a part of the equation or isn't he not? So anyway, we'll talk more about that at the end of the week on the live recap. And finally, over at Society, Nate comes in, sees Nikki in a business meeting, and she gave him all kind of props, and he accepted gracefully about all of the things with the social media platform at Newman Media, until he opened his big mouth about moving over to Newman to help Victoria, and that turned that conversation left. Nikki is like, don't get it twisted. Don't think that that's going to happen so fast. Nate had the nerve to say, well, Victor and I, we've already talked about it. We championed it. Nikki was like, well, me and my husband don't share the same sentiment. But honestly, Nikki, you do know Victor has the final say. And actually, your daughter does too. So you may not like what Nate is doing. We definitely don't. But hey, that doesn't mean anything when Victor and Victoria has the final say. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Stay tuned for the Bold and the Beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.